Hello and welcome to the last of this series for the fired brass part on how to reload new and fired brass. I will be starting on the new brass videos next. This video is going to go over the next 2 steps to do with your fired brass. First we will powder load the brass and then we will seat the bullets. I will show you the methods and the tools I use, plus how to use them. If you found this helpful, please click the like and subscribe buttons below. If you want to become a member, get some merch, download files, or help me to help you, click the Memberships Buy link below the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all subscribe and follow along in this learning experience. Starting with the equipment, back here, this yellow cup here, this is my Dandy Trickler. This thing is really nice. It's got a little vibrating motor, so it works on vibration and vibrates the kernels down into my cup, which the cup is an Area 419 cup. You can see how I bent the handle on that. All this stuff is, in the equipment I use playlist. So you'll find it there to get more information. This is my Sartorius scale, which goes down to 1/1000th of a grain. I will put the model up for what that is. This is just a bowl that I pour some powder in when I want to pick out a really small kernel. Now, this is my RCBS Uniflow powder measure, I think model 3. I'll put that up there too as soon as I can remember what that is. So here we have, these are EP integration loading blocks. And what's really cool about these is there's a middle layer sandwiched in there. So you can do that and it locks your shells in. And believe me, that is very useful. I mean, I used to use regular loading trays. I'd put my funnel on, it would want to fall all over the place. Doesn't happen with these. These are the bullets that I use. These are Lapua Skinners. Skinner, I don't know how you pronounce it. 6mm, 105 grain open tip. Now, I love these bullets. They're the best ones I've ever used. And why I really love them is because when I get them and I measure them base to ogive, they are within 0.5 or 1/1000 all the time. So I don't even bother measuring them now. I just pour them in here and go. And then my funnel here is an Area 419 funnel, which is really nice because you can get different ends for the caliber you're using. Really slick. All this stuff, yes, is a little pricey, but it's worth it. Now, let me tell you why I use all this setup. I used to use the auto trickler type things. I had an RCBS, I don't know what model, but it was the top of the line. It just doesn't give me the accuracy that I want. I also had an auto trickler, version 4, which was okay, if you wanted 2/100ths of a grain accuracy. But the next number it would go to would be 4 or 0, 2/100ths at a time. You could be anywhere in between there. That's not it for me. So with this RCBS, you can manually set it and get it close, and then you trickle it up. And I'm, within 1/1000ths of a grain. So it's a no-brainer. And it is no slower, because when you take your cup and you put it out under the auto trickler, it's got to bulk load it in first, right? This is just, that's it, and it's bulk loaded. And then you trickle up, and the auto trickler was slower and not as accurate. So that's where I'm at. So let's get on to the operation. Okay, so I got this set up to try to get in as much as I can, keeping it all in focus. I don't know if you can see this scale screen. You should be able to if you want to. But anyways, I got the power thrower set up for about 27.3 grains. I'm going for 28.8. And I take anything from 28.790 to 28.805. So we're at 28.29. That's pretty low. So red is fast, yellow is slow. I'm going to give it a good burst there. Maybe another little one. All right, that got us up to 28.61. .74. 28.795. Okay, so that's 5/1000ths of a grain shy of 28.8. Dump it in. Don't forget to always move your funnel over, or you'll double fill. When I was new at this, I did that many times. All right, we're at 28.39. I'll give it a big burst. Gets it up to 28.61. 72. 28.785. One more. This will take us a little over. Okay, 28.805. That's my limit. It just changed to 28.10, so I'm going to pour this back in because I have set limits that I strongly adhere to. Otherwise, there's no sense in doing this. $28.7, 765. Okay, 28.790. That's my lower limit. Move your funnel. Okay, 690. 775. I would say one more grain should give us about 795. Yep, 28.795. You can't get any closer than that. You get used to it, these buttons and that, how much you're going to get, how much it weighs and that. It comes in time playing around, but believe me, once you get it down, you're rolling. All right. I'd really like to see somebody next to me with an auto trickler. I bet you we'd come out probably even though this is more of a manual task here. All right, so when I'm done with the row, I'll take the funnel out. Put it on here. And leave that for now. And then I just take a handful of bullets and I cap these off. And there we go. So now I would put my funnel on the beginning of the second row and start all over. So I'm going to finish all these off, load these up, and then we'll get into bullet seeding. Alright, now we're going to get to seeding bullets. I seed bullets with this Annealing Made Perfect amp press. Is it expensive? Yes, it is very expensive. but it's more than an expensive press for inline seating dies. This will help you learn and better your brass prep better than anybody can tell you or show you, because there is a companion app with it which will show you the seating force when you're seating a bullet. And you learn from that. Trust me, you can learn from that how to better prepare your brass. The second thing I use is this die. This is an inline die. Jesus, this thing weighs a couple of pounds. I used to use Wilson inline seating dies. They were okay. I mean, they were alright, but it doesn't compare to this. You all know how much of a Short Action Customs fan I am. This is the Short Action Customs Infinity APS. It has 1/1000th of an inch adjustments. You get different bases. This is modular, and you get different stems. You get different seating stems, and inside you can take this apart and change the sleeve that goes around the bullet. So this is modular. With this one die, you can seat a host of bullets, cartridges. So I just fired this up now. So the first thing I want to do when you fire this up is you put your die in. You know, I know this should still be set to 1.678, which is what I used last time. And I have to find X0 now, which means it's going to measure that stroke downwards till it stops. Now it knows how to calibrate everything. The next thing I am going to do after I show you this. So this is another Mitutoyo. This is the 10-inch model. And I've got the longer Short Action Customs comparator on there. You can get these in sizes long or short. And then I've got the insert for 6mm bullet seating. So let me turn this on, zero it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first bullet and I'm going to put it in there. Now I don't want to graph this yet, so I put it in here and I hit up here where it says die setup. This will just seat a bullet, not measuring it anything, so you can see where you're at. Okay, you're not going to be able to read that, I don't know, 1.6785, which is perfect to me. So that one's good. I'm going to set it in there. And now, can you see from that screen my bullets? No. Alright, you can see them where they are now. So I had 5 in there from my leftover blow-offs. So these little red caps, these are what help me organize. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm starting here after my blow-offs. Now, if I was doing seating depth tests and all that, along with the spreadsheets that are for free download on the website under downloads, I have it set up for 3-shot groups, 5-shot groups, and they're colored red where a new bullet should be starting. Because I don't know how many times I was at the range years ago or whenever, and I'd shoot at a target, and I'd grab a bullet and shoot at that same target when it was supposed to be shooting at the next target. How are you going to be able to test anything if you don't stay organized? Okay, so now I'm going to start seating for record. So I go up here to where it says go. And now you see it gave me a graph. I'm hoping you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see it. It's a green line. Check my seating depth again once more. 1.678, perfect. And I'll put that in there. Now these are all going to be seated the same length, okay? So I'm not doing any seating depth tests or anything where I would have to change it to every 3 shots or every 5 shots. So what you can do with this is you can go over here to click auto run. Now it says remove any weights from there because it wants to zero the sensor weight. Okay, it's finding the no die weight. Now you take your die and you put it on here. And now it'll configure the difference between those 2 weights so it knows how to run auto run. So now I can just fly. Now there is something definitely wrong with that one. Or the first one. Depends on how this graph goes. Now you see those last 2 were nicely the same. So this also helps you sort them out to the best ones. Yeah, okay, so that was the first one. There was definitely something wrong with the first one. So I will pull that and put it into the blow-off bullets. And I'll use those for blow-offs. Now that one was almost exactly like the first one. Not the first one, third one or whatever. So you have to remember now to put these bullets in your case in order, because as you're doing this, it's giving you an order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So say I want to pick out this one that's bad. I click on it and I know that's number 2 bullet, so I can go over here and pull out number 2. I do that when I'm done loading. So this will tell you if you've got any problems, sizing, neck expanding or whatever. Now you see it was just that first bullet, the rest of them are all here. And also down here, you see how it comes out a straight line? Boy, I'm hoping you can see this. It comes out a straight line here, and then it goes up. Well, this straight line here is when it first touches the bullet before it gets any force on it. And the reason those are all even is because I have them all trimmed the same length. Okay, I'm going to continue on with this. I only loaded 50 of those 92 because I wanted to get this video done with, because I got things to do tomorrow. So this is the last video of the fired brass in the new and fired brass series. I appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you back on the next one, where I'll be going over new brass, how to prep your new brass. So thank you very much, and don't forget to like and subscribe.